Welcome back to Enthador, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Dwarf Fortress version 0.43, and this is the last episode of the Tale of Sandpillar, that fortress in the middle of the Black Sand Desert, behind the enemy lines of the Mangy Spider. And I've got a treat for you in this episode. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to look at the fort in 3D. We're going to do some history. It's going to be a lot of fun. But first off, what I want to do is I want to show to you all an image made by a gentleman who refers to himself as Incompetent Idiot, which is a misnomer if I've ever heard one, because he is neither incompetent nor an idiot. In fact, this is an amazing image of the Civil War, which recently racked Sandpillar. He has divided all of the dwarves in that conflict up into two factions, the rebels and the loyalists. And this is really clever. How he was able to determine which belonged to which faction was, I guess, when these types of events happen in Dwarf Fortress, they don't end until all of the rebels have been killed. So by determining who was left alive at the end of it, he was able to determine who were loyalists and who had fought against our fortress. So that's really interesting. And he also provided some links to it, which I will make available down below. But okay, let us get started. So right now we're looking at Sandpillar from the top, but we are going to now hop on over to Armok Vision. And I've been communicating with Japa, the developer of Armok Vision, a bunch, and it is a greatly expanded since the last time I showed it off. However, I think it can be even better. He created some screenshots himself of Sandpillar, which I'm going to go ahead and put up on the screen right now, because they are so much better than anything I am able to pull up here using this program. As you can see, it doesn't show the bottom of the pit. Well, his screenshots do. So I'm going to put those up right now. Just look at how cool those are. He did some during the day and some at night. But there is a new feature that we can use and explore, and I'm really hyped about it. So let's try it out here. And that is, he took my idea that I said in the last time about how it would be really cool if there was an FPS mode. So let's take a quick look at that, because it's really cool. Alright, you can hear that little bump that we hit the ground. So you can actually walk around. There's the enemy's entrance. Those are the green glass statues. Unfortunately, it doesn't render the glass road, but that's okay. It does render the glass ramps. And here's the drawbridge leading into Sandpillar. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it does render floor tiles. So clear glass and green glass floor tiles are rendered, just not roads. Here's where our merchants hang out. And through these green glass portals, this is our tavern. Look at the bards everywhere. Everywhere you look, just bards. Everyone in the fortress is here. Alright. So here's where things get a little weird, and hopefully I won't screw anything up here. But these are the staircases, but oh cool, that's a beautiful bed. The game doesn't like it very much, and sometimes I get stuck in the walls. So let's see how this works here. We're going to go down. Alright, cool. That worked out. Okay, so this is one floor. Forget which floor this is, though. Let's look. Alright, this is the storage floor. Nothing really exciting here. So let's go back down here. Alright. So this is the workshops, I take it. This looks very workshop-y. Yeah, that's storage. Alright, that's very cool. So I really feel like I'm actually exploring Sandpillar. Let's go down here. There's a statue, our glass statue. Ah, yes! So this is our grand dining hall. Those are our green glass tables, and of course our stone tables, and you can see our design here with the green glass and the clear glass floor tiles, and of course our fantastic statue. So this is our epic dining hall. Unfortunately, you can't see the engravings all over the walls, but frankly, I don't know how he'd even be able to do that. I mean, I guess you can make a tile where every wall looks the same that's engraved, but you couldn't, like, show individual engravings. Alright, so let's keep going down. This must be the bedrooms, right? Yeah, that's a beautiful bed right there. There's John Buckbeard? Oh, wow. I guess if you do a floor tile, it's also a ceiling tile. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's keep going down. This is bedroom floor 2, bedroom floor 3, and here is the Hall of History. And what's unique about this is we're going to show our new... We're going to show our new green glass tunnel. Look at how beautiful this is. That leads to our special memorial hall. Although none of the memorials actually show up. I'm sure that's coming. There's one dwarf here, at least one loyal fellow who is remembering the dead. But this is our memorial hall, which is actually outside of the main Sandpillar itself, as you know. It's in the walls on the side. But just look at the experience of the dwarves walking through that green glass tunnel. That is amazing. What else do we have here? We have... This is our Hall of History. So all these are engraved based on the years. And this, guarded by a dog, is where all of our priceless artifacts are stored. But let's go down into the pit. So as we keep going down... Trying to figure... This is our mausoleum. Now, is this the entrance to the pit? No. Well, yeah, actually I think this is. Okay, so we have to go... Is it this way? Yes. Okay, we're going this way. Or wait, no, it's not this way, is it? No. I went the wrong way. This is the way. Pretty sure. Yes, okay. Yep. Lovely. So we're coming out here, and here we are in the pit of Sandpillar. And as we walk around here, see, I'm sure Japa has a mode where you could show everything. Where, for example, you could see the walls going all the way up to the top. But for some reason, I can only see 2 levels of walls on mine, which is disappointing, but, you know, I'm sure he'll teach me how to do it right. And here is our new pit. Now, I jumped down in there once, but it doesn't really work, unfortunately. If you do jump in there, you'll just fall forever. So the floor of that is not rendered for some reason. I'm not sure how to fix it or what to do, but I'm not going to mess with it, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd go down there and show it to you. Oh, never mind. I just accidentally fell. So as you can see, this is what happens. You fall into kind of a limbo, and you can't see anything that's going on. So unfortunately, that is the end of our usage of Armok Vision for right now. But that's okay. It's a wonderful program. That new FPS mode is awesome. Just some way that I can affect the files to show multiple Z levels. I mean, my computer can hack it, so I'm pretty sure there's a way I can make it work. But okay, now that we are done with that, we are going to look at Legends Viewer. Here is Sandpillar. As you can see, it is 156, and every year, it appears, the goblins are attacking us, as you can see. It's just more and more attacks. But I don't really care too much about the goblins. In fact, what I want to do instead is I want to look up some historical figures. Particularly Ramak Horyhags, the Snots of Splashing. Ramak Horyhags, the Snots of Splashing, was a marsh titan born in -287 and died in 155, struck by the dwarf Kaladin, tongs moistened in the rampage of Ramak Horyhags. So he's associated with animals, muck, nature, plants, and water. What's funny is he lived in gutter forests, which is up here in the far northwestern corner, as far as you can get, actually, to the northwest in Enthador. So he traveled quite a long way just to be killed at Sandpillar. and he was a legendary observer, but otherwise he really didn't have that many skills in terms of fighting. However, he did manage to kill 44 creatures and was involved in 18 rampages, the final one being in Sandpillar, where he killed 4 people and then died himself. Was struck down by the dwarf Kaladin, tongues moistened. Kaladin was born in 21. Apparently he's a woodcrafter. And he has 2 children, Kel and Kadul, but it doesn't say anything else about him. His wife, Zulban, and Bill Hilly was his former apprentice. Okay, look at all these relationships. I want to see if there's anybody he's... No, he's pretty much friendly with everybody. Huh. And he had 1 battle that he was involved in that was unnotable, 4 that were notable, and 4 kills. Good for Kaladin. Alright, so let's look up now the dragon. Inira Parchvault, the Ivory Treasury. So Inira was a male dragon born in -193 and died at 155 due to spikes. I thought it was a girl, but I guess Inira is a male's name. Is associated with fire and wealth, which is pretty standard, I guess, for a dragon. Enemies with all of the civilizations, pretty much. He was from Glow Ivory, the Torrid Wealths, which is this is weird. So Inira came from the center of Dwarven civilization up in the northeast of Enthador, all the way down to Little Sandpillar. That's a huge journey just to fall into a pit. That's pretty embarrassing, Inira. And Inira had 80 notable kills, was involved in 18 rampages. The most recent, they don't even include Sandpillar because it wasn't really a rampage, was Bowel Snack, where she killed 2. Let's see, where's Bowel Snack? So, okay, she was kind of close. It was a human town, kind of close to Sandpillar, so it was kind of on the way of, and I keep calling it her, it's a him, his rampage through the world. So that was Inira Parchvault, the Ivory Treasury, the dragon that we killed. What else is interesting? So, Sandpillar, let's see what they say just in general about Sandpillar. Kuganabok is the dwarven term for it. Come on. So it's in the Courageous Dunes. Its position is X 630, Y 1353. Its size 3x2. That's all good information. It has the Canyons of Dreaming, which is a tavern and inn, and the Watchful Sanctuary, which is a temple. It was involved in 4 notable battles: the Furious Sieges, the Crazy Onslaught, the Assaults of Barbarity, and the Dented Assaults. It was also involved in 8 beast attacks: Zydel, Ramak, and a bunch of unknown beasts. What's Zydel? That's the human werebeast. Okay, so this is the werebull. Zydel Bristled Zenith, the Rosy Blossom. Was a male human werebeast born in 8 and died in 154, struck by the dwarf Fredivalda Coaltires in the rampage of Zydel Bristled Zenith, the Rosy Blossom. Aw, his goal was to fall in love. That's so sad. Let's see, he was the former lawgiver of the Empires of Confederacy, a werebeast. This is his family. Bull Monster Curse lineages. Oh, wow, that's interesting. So it tells you all the different humans who were cursed with this, and it's all humans. So Timta, the human deity, is who cursed him originally, and he managed to turn all of these poor people into werebulls, including Brolock Alemaster, female dwarf werebeast. What? Okay, so that doesn't... it doesn't truly mean that. It looks like she was killed by the werebeast. So technically, had she survived, she would have become a werebeast, but she didn't technically become a werebeast because she died. So, okay, that was weird, though. I was like, what in the world? And this is the best family tree I've seen for one of our named dwarfs. Liquidor, I hope you're watching this. This is Gavin. Here we have a bunch of random people. Mebzuth, the lumbering troll over here. Former queen of the Oaken Flags, Toulon Tame Seal. There's Dweezil, who is the great-granddaughter of Toulon, the queen. So wait a minute. Brolock Alemaster was the great-great-granddaughter of the queen of the Oaken Flags, the former queen. Wow. That is so cool. And Brolock Alemaster has a number of children, but none of them were named. None of them were in Sandpillar. But Dweezil was her mother, and Gavin was her father. Wow, that is so cool. So we're related to royalty, guys. But yeah, so that's the only... Well, there's a goblin there, too. I was going to say it's the only non-human werebull. There's a dwarf, too. Locum Craft Rushes. That is so interesting. Oh, wait, no, this is Brolock Alemaster we're at now. I mean, this tree is the same thing, but let's go back to Zydel here. All right, Lawgiver of the Empire's Confederacy from 39 to 78. Worshipped Koru. And had tons of kids, but was apparently cursed by a different god altogether. Had 31 kills, 40 attacks before we took it out. By Fredivalda. Let's take a look at Fredivalda. Bled out, unfortunately. Killed by Sketch D2. Wait. What? Former king of the Oaken Flags? Lumbering Troll? Mebzuth Mirror Relieved? He was the great-grandfather of Fredivalda. The king of the Oaken Flags. So Fredivalda was the descendant of royalty. That is so cool. And had a female daughter. Yeah, had a daughter. Poor Fredivalda. Oh, that's so weird. Fredivalda didn't even worship a dwarven god. Fredivalda worshipped a mountain titan. Add budded crystals the whiskered wing. What? Fredivalda, what are you doing worshipping crazy titans? This can't be right. They both titans can't live in the same exact square. That's goofy. Okay, Fredivalda, you were a bit strange. But you were royalty, so that's cool. Let's see. Randy Savage was your master. Wolf Kesvik was your spouse. You had a number of good relationships. Oh, it gives us the names. Weavericus, Mirror Wayward, the crude end of sockets. We knew that one already. Cabuis, the tools of moistness. Torred, the walled barb citadel of roads. And I guess that's... What? You were friends with an elf? Ethethi Tickgorge? Well, I guess it's okay. We are the Oaken Flags. There's Bort Glasgow, the copper sever of hands. Oh, you know, Liquidor was interested in Maz. Let's see if we have a family tree for Liquidor here. Wow, Maz was also related to the former queen of the Oaken Flags, Toulon Tame Seal. Alright, so here's Maz, father of Alun and child. Nobody else named here. Yeah, does Maz have any siblings? I guess not, or it just doesn't say. That is so interesting. Let's take a look at Bork. Okay, Bork suffocated by Arstokan Inspector, so must have crushed his windpipe or something. And Bork was involved, had 5 kills. Pinkie Pie, Augustus, Id, Hezekiah Bearchild, and Stukos. Murdered, struck, bled, and struck. Was an adequate miner. Married Gwendolyn in 141. Settled in Blackchained. Became a miner in Blackchained. He murdered Stukos in Blackchained. And then left to join the Oaken Flags at Sandpillar. Pinkie Pie was struck down by Bork with an iron pick. Augustus also with an iron pick. But then Bork was slain by Arstokan Inspector, who was the son of Randy Savage. Interesting. And Arstokan Inspector only had 1 kill in his hands, though, and that was Bork. Interesting. Settled in Wheel Dream. Where's that? Okay, so not too far from Sandpillar, mountain range to the south. Alright, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my final rundown on Sandpillar. You know what actually we're going to do real quick is I'm going to try here to load up Stone Sense, so we can look at it one last time in Stone Sense. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see here. Yes, that's what I meant. Thank you. All right. Awesome. All right, so here is our fortress. Let's take a look here. And it does show our glass road, but look, it's just covered in vomit. Oh, it shows the vomit? That's terrible. There's our dog. Hey, little buddy. What is it again? I think it's the question mark. Yeah, there we go. So what we want to do is we want to... What do we want to do here? We want to... Huh. I'm not very good at this. Increment? Is that O? Like 0? There we go. What if I don't want to go... 1? No, 2. Oh, there we go. Perfect. And 9 decreases. Okay, so 9 makes us go down. I get it. Sweet. Alright, here's the pillar. We'll get rid of that. So that is one of our farming levels. This is the main entrance, our tavern. And the enemy's entrance. Vomit everywhere. There's our glass road, though that looks pretty cool. Then we have our storage floor. Then we have our workshop floor. Then we have our amazing dining room with our little glass thing there. Wasn't there a way to get more zoomed in? No. I mean, there is a way. I just don't know what it is. But I don't want to go up. I want to go down. All right, here's bedroom floor 1, bedroom floor 2, bedroom floor 3, and Fulcar Gore Smash. You could see her initials there on the floor of the room. And this beautiful room with these awesome windows and statues. And Fulgar really had it good. And then we have our Hall of History here. This was our temple. This was our artifacts. This was our enemies, our citizens. And if we look over here, there's our green glass tunnel, which leads to our memorial hall from the insurrection. Looks like Randy Savage is visiting, as well as Hargrim, Kursar, Grugtar, and Burr. Okay, there's our mausoleum, unfortunately growing. This is our refuse and our exit out into the pit. And then here we have our furniture stockpiles, the ones I was creating, and the second pit, which you can see we go down there. Here's where our March Dwarves would hang out to shoot enemies. We haven't actually utilized that, but, you know. Then here's where our melee dwarves would come out and fight. These yellow things, I guess, are the spikes, the spike traps. And this is just on the top of the cavern layer. As we come down, we see the caverns. They're really high caverns. Here's some of our mining here. Let's see, where's our staircase? There's our main staircase there. Eratia is down there for some reason. So we keep going down. This is where we're getting our marble. This is cavern layer number 2. A lot of water in there. It's a giant ulm. And then this was our way into the caverns. This is where we were supposed to fight the Forgotten Beasts, but they didn't want anything to do with us, unfortunately. And we keep going down, 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 until we have our green glass dining room and bedroom for the people down here. There's Catface, Doom Guy, Gatomo Pull, Thikut. And this is where we kept our bars and our coal and stuff like that. And then here was our magma floor, where we mostly made glass items, but also smelted metal and forged wonderful metal items. There's Ari and Hephaestus, Corvus Corax, Dimitri, and Zack. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that is Sandpillar, and hopefully with our next fortress, I'll be able to learn how to work the Armok vision a bit better, because this next fortress is going to look really great with it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I've got a plan. Also, I'm recording this episode, this final episode, utilizing a different microphone configuration than usual. I have it kind of in this little box as opposed to hanging from a boom arm. So if you could, in the comments, just let me know, if you made it this far, how this episode sounds overall compared to my other episodes. If it sounds better, it sounds worse. The purpose of it was supposed to hopefully reduce the echo and make my voice a bit more crisp, make it a bit more of a dry sound. So hopefully that'll work out. Alright folks, well this is the last episode of Sandpillar, so the next time you're going to be hearing me with regards to Dwarf Fortress, it will be the intro to our next fortress, although I might take some time between now and then just to make sure I have everything set up right. So I really hope that you enjoyed Sandpillar. I'll discuss the dwarf naming in the next episode, but really all I just want to say is we're going to start from scratch with new names on the list. It's entirely possible that people from Sandpillar will migrate in to the next fortress. I hope that happens. That'll be really cool. We'll see how it goes. So once again, I'm Marcus Aurelius. I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.